Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SHOUTCraft Clan Wars right here on MLG TV. My name is TotalBiscuit with yet another fantastic team match between these two. Oh, great. I'm looking forward to this one. As I look forward to pretty much all of the Clan Wars, it's fairly rare that I find a Clan War that I think to myself, you know what, this is going to be absolutely terrible. I suppose that is the benefit of being able to schedule and choose the teams for your Clan War. It's kind of neat. What do we got today? We have EG facing off against Startale. EG have been doing pretty well up to this point, actually. They have been putting on a great show. Absolutely great show. They forewarned IM, which was impressive in and of itself. That to me was something that I think a lot of people were very surprised by. Rightfully so. And then they ended up in a very close match against Millennium. Really close. And they also have a really good 2v2 team, it would seem. So, yeah, there is that. Well, what have we got? Here's your lineup, folks. Let's have a look. Xenocider versus Legend, a TBT on Wrecking Ball. Followed by Huck versus Panic on Neo Jungle Valley. That's another PvP. And then we have Zerg versus Zerg as well. Jaedong. Curious. Wonder who's going to win that. Man, that's going to be a really intense Zerg versus Zerg. Jaedong is really, really good. Then, of course, we have the 2v2, Xenocider and Suppy going up against Pet and Legend. So they're putting Legend out twice. For those of you who don't know, Legend is rather awesome. He's the observer for GSL. Not known as a high-quality pro player, though. So I have to wonder how much prep time he's had. And the advantage, of course, of not being a pro player is that you actually have the time to practice your map. Thank God. So we'll see. I wonder if we can actually pick a map up. That would be kind of impressive. I haven't seen Legend win anything in a team league as of yet. Well, it's going to be cool nonetheless. And then after that, of course, Suppy versus Life. If it gets to that, that again could be a great Zerg versus Zerg. New Pompeii is a really good Zerg map. Not surprising to see teams go on that. And then, JYP versus Pect on Fallen Dreams. We're going to be going in about 2 minutes. We're just waiting for Legend to basically get sorted out. In the meantime, it's all about this matchup. So, Xenocider, how has he been doing lately? Pretty good, honestly. Pretty good. Put on great performances so far in the Clan Wars. Xenocider was playing the 2v2 in their first match against IM. He was scheduled to play against Lucky on Keru, which I firmly believe he could have won. But it didn't get that far. Suppy finished off Biol, and then that was that. And then, he was deployed quite a few times against Millennium. And he did a good job there too, honestly. He played really, really well. Picked up the win against Daishi in a really good game on Wrecking Ball, which of course will be the place where he's fighting again. So he's got a lot of TBT experience here. And then they sent him out again against 4GG. And he almost won. He did well. He almost won. But 4GG was just a little bit too strong. And of course, he is part of the 2v2 team for EG with Suppy, who are currently 2-0 in the Clan Wars for their 2v2. I believe they would be the only team to manage that. And this, of course, could be their third win in a row for the 2v2. 2v2 is not that far down the list either. We will get to it. It's pretty much guaranteed. As you can see, even if one team goes 3-0, there's still the 2v2 to play for, which could end up being the ace match. But what about Startale? How have Startale been able to play so far? Well, not incredibly well. They did well against Axiom. 4-2 against Axiom. Legend came out on Starbow, had no idea what he was doing and got crushed, and that was a bit unfortunate. But aside from that, they put on a good performance. Panic picked up the win against Ryung. Hack picked up the win against Heart, and then Hack and Life on Sacred Path for the 2v2, with Curious finishing off Impact in a ZVZ. But they don't have Hack today, as you'll notice. Their lineup is minus Hack, and they've had to replace him with Legend, who is really not on Hack's level. So I'm a bit concerned about Startale, especially considering what happened to them versus IM, where they got crushed. Absolutely crushed. Ruin, Hyunghwa, Ongnim, Lucky, and Biol just flattened them 4-0. Not even close. And that was with Hack. So, I don't know. I think EG's got a really good shot here. EG using both their Korean players and pretty much their strongest lineup of foreigners as far as I'm concerned. I wouldn't argue with that lineup really in any way. Suppy's really good right now. Hucker's very good PvP in general. So I would never count Hook out of a PvP under any circumstances. Jaedong Zerg versus Zerg is almost unbeatable at this point, and he's on fire today after playing a lot in the qualifiers for Ace of Team Story Cup. And Xenocider, who is playing great Terran right now. Really strong. One of the best foreign Terrans. Alright, we're just waiting for Legend to come back. He disappeared for a couple of minutes. I'm hoping he will be back relatively shortly, and I don't have to stall for time for too much longer. I wish I had a co-caster for this. That would make that a lot easier, wouldn't it? Great. He is ready. So we are going to rock and roll. We are going into the game right now, and the first match here will be a TBT between Xenocider and Legend on Wrecking Ball. Good Terran map, in my opinion. Very good. Yet to see any Terran actually pull off a trick using the nice little neutral add-ons that are in position. We'll see where that goes. There we go. Excellent. That's what we like to see. And we are about ready to get started. By the way, if you haven't already, please by all means do click the follow button below your video window, because that will email you every time we go live, which, in my opinion, is rather useful. Alright, we are ready to go. Let's make it happen. Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to Wrecking Ball. And it is my pleasure. I don't know what he's talking about, but okay. I do not understand, but never mind. It is my pleasure to bring you this fella right here in the blue trunks. There's been a lag going on right here, interestingly enough. I'm not really sure what's causing that. In the blue trunks playing Terran, it is Xenocider, who apparently is lagging right now. Which is good, because that might actually give me enough time to fix the zoom level. Not really sure what's going on with that. Good lord. What is... Why is my zoom the way it is? I don't actually know what's caused that. It's really weird. Is it? No. There we go. Fixed. Excellent. I knew it was one of those hotkeys. I just couldn't quite remember which. Alright. Looks like they're ready to go. Hopefully we don't have too much lag. And back in the game. As we get quite a bit of lag. I wonder if it's BattleNet that's lagging at the moment. I did notice it was a little bit slow. We'll see what ends up happening. Regardless, as I was saying, in the blue trunks playing Terran, it's EG Xenocider versus his opponent to the south position. In the red trunks also playing Terran, Startale Legend of the Startale Esports Club. This is a lot of lag. I really hope this clears up. And honestly, I don't really know where it's coming from, so it's hard to say. Legend going right for the gas first here. I'm hoping it'll actually show us who's lagging in a minute, and then we can try and figure out how to fix it. Both going for gas first in this position, which is interesting. Alright, so we could see a number of different interesting strategies. Barracks is, of course, going to go down here. So, no player currently trying to take the add-ons in the center of the map, which do exist for those of you who don't know. I'm interested. Very interested in that. Outside of that, though, we could see Hellion, we could see Banshee from this position. It's pretty much the fastest possible Banshee. I don't really like this map for Banshee for a couple of reasons, though, which is why I'm thinking that might not be what's happening. So firstly, very, very narrow void at the edge of the base. Very easy for a Banshee to get caught out and killed by Marines. Secondly, if you migrate a Banshee this way, it dies to these turrets, which is a unique feature of this map. Not exactly something that you really want. I mean, there is another possibility, of course, that we might actually see a proxy factory on one of those add-ons. The factory is beginning here. This lag is terrible. Wow. I don't know what is going on with this, but I have never seen lag like this before. I'm hoping it's not affecting the players and it's just us on the observer end of things, but this is just awful so far. Good lord. Hopefully this cleans up. BattleNet was not performing well earlier, so that might very well have something to do with it. Oh dear. Alright, well, scout coming in from Legend, and he will see exactly what he needs to see. No scout from Xenocider, didn't even bother. But so far, identical builds from both players, but Xenocider has added on the second gas, which will be scouted here. So, adding on the second gas at this stage generally indicates that you want to go for Cloaked Banshee, but he may have something else in mind. Starport is going to go down right here, and then we'll most likely see a Tech Lab coming up on the factory. Or we may see it coming up on there. There it is, Tech Lab on the factory, so absolutely Cloaked Banshee. And Legend, of course, will go for Banshee as well. but he is not going to get Cloak, I don't think. It seems fairly unlikely. His gas is a lot later. It is possible that he may go for some kind of delayed Cloak build, but the other possibility is that we see Legend just go for one Banshee immediately into a Raven, which would be a good way of handling that. Oh, good lord. So much lag. So much lag. I wonder if Golden sees it, actually. I'm just really surprised by that. It's not something we generally see here. Yeah. Alright, Cloak Banshee, as predicted here by Xenocider. Legend does have the gas to do both, actually. So, he's going to go for it. Even with the slightly later gas, he was okay. So, never mind. Cloak Banshee from both players. And then we may see a Raven follow-up from both as well. Nice little scout there as well from Xenocider. He gets the information. He sees that he's researching, so he knows what he's up against. So he may... He can do one of two things. He could follow up with Raven, or he can get a scan ready, which he will have the time to do. You can see it's coming in there. So no big issues at this point for him. I wonder how much damage is going to be done. I mean, both players know exactly what their opponent is doing here. Cloak Banshee generally works better if it goes unseen, but it's not the only reason to do it. Immediately a Raven coming out from both players. So this is just weird in and of itself, because not much should really happen here, honestly. It would be very surprising to see anything happen at this point. Alright, Xenocider making his way across the map. Very, very slowly. This is terrible. After this match, we're definitely going to have to look into what's going on, because this is just awful. None of the players have complained yet, but this is absolutely horrible. Anyway, Legend is going to try and do a little bit of damage here. He hasn't got to the mineral line as of yet. Xenocider also in. Takes a Marine out. Very nice. Couple more Marines pop under it. The Raven is about to complete on both sides. So, let's see what can really come of that. Legend, I hope he's practiced this map, because if he gets driven into those turrets, he's going to be in serious trouble. And he almost did, but yeah, he knows they're there. So, he didn't head in. That would have been an absolute disaster. Xenocider's Banshee's getting more done, honestly. It's working very, very well. It's already got 13 kills, 14 right now. There's not enough Marines on the ground to drive it back. I think that's the main problem. Legend actually has no Marines. So this Banshee has free reign to do whatever it wants. So I think it's safe to say at this stage, Xenocider is cleaning up. Legend is not getting anywhere with this whatsoever. And the Banshee's down. And indeed, Xenocider's Banshee gets out. So, I mean, you need only look at workers killed to see the damage done there. And even just like units lost, 8 Marines were killed by Xenocider. Like, as in, the Marines were not out in time, they were not well positioned, and Xenocider's Banshee control was good enough that he was able to pick off 8 Marines and still kill that many workers, which is in itself impressive, I might add. So that puts Legend firmly behind, and this is never a position you want to be in a TVT. Xenocider has firm control of this game going forward, and has his expansion up, whereas so does Legend. So he does have a shot of getting back in, certainly, but there's a huge disparity right now, an absolutely massive disparity between the number of units that Xenocider has and the number of units that Legend has. Xenocider can actually just push and win right now, but it would be a little bit risky. If he overextends, if the defender's advantage kicks in, it could be a problem. Legend's going to build another Banshee. Speaking of another Banshee, where is Xenocider's? He has one over there, and he's got it repaired, and he's bringing it right up to the army here. So Xenocider can think, right, okay, I'm pretty safe right now. He's going to go and push out, see what he can see. Well, with 2 tanks out for Legend and a Banshee, it might be a bit difficult for Xenocider to break the front. Not entirely impossible, but a little bit difficult. So I'm not entirely convinced that this is going to work for Xenocider, but it's not looking bad either. He has Viking superiority, which is going to give him a huge edge in this. A 3rd tank is coming in to reinforce as well. He has a superior Marine count. Defender's advantage is in the hands of Legend, but Legend's not building another tank. He's building 2 more barracks right now, which is not what he wants. I think he felt he was safe, but he's not. He absolutely is not. And he's getting his tanks picked away at, and Xenocider was looking to get position and actually just kill him right now. Single Marine sent out. The engagement comes in on both sides here, and we also have a double point defense drone deployed, and a tank out of position here for Legend as the Marines move in. They're taking some damage, though. As I said, it's going to be a bit difficult to break this force. Xenocider does get full air superiority, though, and is going to possibly pick up a Banshee there. Yes, he does indeed. So he got the Banshee, no problem at all. Nice lag. Holy hell. The stream itself is not lagging, as far as I'm aware. It's not buffering. I've got no frames dropped. It is literally Battle.net just being terrible. So I don't know what on earth is going on here. Give land, Blizz, so on and so forth. So Xenocider has put the contain in place. The question is, what is he going to make happen with it? He's adding on 2 more barracks of his own, getting an engineering base. So starting to look for upgrades here. He's building his own tanks. He's slowly edging forward, but I mean, usually this would just contain a player of Xenocider's caliber, but I just have this feeling that Legend isn't really up to that. He's not up to that level. His control earlier was looking pretty sloppy, so that wasn't too good. And now Legend is taking yet more damage. Xenocide is getting further and further ahead in terms of his economy. He's going to go in. He's going for it. I mean, the tank is undeployed. Why would he not go for it? Trying to focus down the tank. Drops down the Viking. Takes that out as well. And now it's Marine versus Marines and tanks, which is never really good for the Marines. However, Xenocider didn't have enough here. And Legend is able to stim forward, do a little bit more damage, pick off the tank, and almost break the contain. Almost break the contain. Oh, the drop. Legend drops a tank directly on top of the other tank. Really nice moves here. And there you go. Legend suddenly fires his way up into second gear and pushes Xenocider right back and crushes that contain. Very nice. Good play there by Legend, but unfortunately, he's still way behind in terms of his economy. I mean, look at that. 47 workers to 32 in a mirror match is not where you want to be. And while Legend does have the better army right now, it won't stay that way. Xenocider is looking to get a third base. Xenocider is getting upgrades, +1. Stim is on the way for both players. It will be done for Legend first, but he can't break the front, so it doesn't actually matter. He doesn't have enough units to really go for a counterattack. He does have drop. Well, he did have drop. Yeah, he still has drop capability. No, he doesn't. He had drop capability. I believe he somehow lost his medevac. I'm not really sure how that happened. Must have got shot down. But the drop did come in there. Now it's medevac capability here for Xenocider, who may look to try and do that himself if Legend decides to push out a little bit too far here. Let's see what Legend decides to do. So far, Legend without the combat shields upgrade. And shows no sign of building it either, which is a bit weird. He has the gas for it. He may have just forgotten it, which is not really what you want to do. Marine versus... There we go. Combat shield has now begun. A little bit late. I don't think it necessarily matters at this point, but the drop is going to come in here by Xenocider. It will get cleaned up. Oh, he leaves 3 Marines. Bit sloppy there by Xenocider. Good lord. It's not what you want to be doing either. And I like this decision by Xenocider, by the way. He's using these neutral turrets to kind of create a wall here. This is something that we even saw Zerg players do on this map. And it makes him very safe from a lot of drops. And Vikings can just patrol. So it's very hard to get a drop into the base. This is not a drop-friendly map at all. Very, very difficult to pull that off. Legend's going to make his way across the map. Down goes the Hellion. So he's going to see the tank line and say, alright, well, can't really do much here. Legend is trying to catch up in terms of his economy, but is still 11 SCVs behind, and he's about to be 1 base behind as well. Xenocider finishes his orbital command. Legend actually adding on another factory here, interestingly enough. Okay. That's intriguing. Wonder what he's planning on doing with that. Well, I guess we will find out. Xenocider is actually not going to have his combat shields. Legend's trying to hit a timing here. +1 is done for Xenocider, but combat shields is going to be done for Legend, which is a better upgrade in general. And it's actually not done for Xenocider. However, I think these Marines are going to die. 4 tanks in position. Very nicely done there by Xenocider. There's a stem forward. He's gone for the engagement. Takes out 2 tanks and pulls back. Oh, nice. Very nice there by Xenocider. Legend again bleeding. 91 supply to 137. 53 SCVs to 46. Legend still with no sign of another expand. So that, I mean, that's what really concerns me at this point, is that third base is about to be up and running, and Legend's kind of staying in the game right now, but he's still 50 supply behind, and he's about to be way further than that once that third base gets mining. Legend? Oh, this is... I wouldn't do this if I were Legend. That's almost suicide, and he will lose half a medevac there at least. He tries to put the tanks behind it, but they're not actually achieving anything. And the stim will go into the base, and it looks like we might even have a base race situation on our hands. Doom drop into the main, Xenocider with 5 medevacs worth, and the rest of his force is actually going to swing around the back and kill it. So some damage will definitely be done here by Legend, but a tank has been deployed in a good spot, and more damage is being inflicted on Legend's army than it is on Xenocider's, who is now gutting this base with a great vengeance and furious anger, stepping towards the front here. Legend in a lot of trouble, doesn't really have the numbers to defend against both of these. The tank is... man, the tank's not even going to get out. That factory is going down. Legend's aggression has been stomped into the floor, and it looks like Xenocider is going to clean this up without too much of a problem. Natural falls down. There is the GG and EG with the first GG of this Clan Wars series. That was... I should never be a gangster rapper, as it turns out. That would be a bad idea. Xenocide are looking on form, no doubt about that. Legend, well, you know, we don't really know what his form is. He's not a pro player, so I suppose it was to be expected. He did put up a nice little fight, I'll give him that, but he ended up being way too far behind at the start, I think. Just the sheer disparity in the amount of damage that the Banshees did kind of put Legend in a position where he was going to really be struggling to even consider winning that game. So yeah, there's that. There is that. Okay. Well, we need to find out what's going on with that lag. I really, really want to know. I'm hoping that was just the Korean server, because I don't know what on earth was going on with that. That was really, really terrible. There was nothing on this end, from what I could tell. So we will investigate it. And the next match in this clan war will be Panic versus Huck. We're going to be switching servers over to NA for this. So my hope is that that doesn't happen again. If it does, well, this could be problematic. Anyway, EG currently up 1 game in this Best of 7 Clan Wars series. We'll be right back after the break. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to SHOUTCraft Clan Wars. So, we do have an update. We're not really sure what caused that, but it didn't appear to affect the players in any way. Neither player was stating that they had any lag whatsoever beyond the usual ping delay, so it seems to be an observer thing only. We've switched server now to NA for our next map, so the hope is it doesn't happen again. As it stands, we are, by the looks of it, not dropping any frames at all. So there was no buffering to the stream, which indicates it's not my connection. I'm not really sure what's up with that. I'm hoping it doesn't happen again. I'm just letting people know that everything seems to be okay, and we're pretty much about ready to go. Okay, so the next match is going to be Panic versus Huck, and I think this is kind of where the clan war truly begins. Not to take away from Legend or anything, but you know, he is not a pro gamer, whereas Panic most assuredly is, and he's very, very good, in fact. But so's Huck. Huck is a really, really good Protoss, especially when it comes to PvP. I wouldn't mess with him in this matchup, not at all. I'm going to see it on Neo Jungle Valley. Alright, well, we have seen some pretty cool Protoss play on this map before. It's a semi-island map, so it tends to favor one of two things. Well, actually one of three things now, as we discovered in the last clan war. What I would have said before yesterday is that it favors either airplay or blink play because of the semi-island nature of the map. However, what we have now seen on this map is drop play with Warp Prism. So I'm intrigued to see where this goes. Early rushes don't really work because they arrive far too late. Why am I saying that? Because the map has rocks that block everything off. It is a semi-island. So you'll notice that every entrance to the other guy's base blocked off by rocks right here. Gonna make your way through that. They take a little bit of time. You can break them down with stalkers, but it does take a little bit of time to make your way through there. So let's see what strategies will be employed by both players as I happily introduce to you to the northwest position. In the light blue trunks, playing Protoss Startale Panic versus his opponent to the southwest position. In the red trunks, playing Protoss, E.G. Huck. Ah yes, Evil Genius's Huck. Has been around for a very long time. Of course, used to be on Millennium, if I recall correctly, and then he went to Team Liquid. And then, of course, to Evil Geniuses, where he has remained now for several years. And so far, his form in this Clan Wars has looked pretty good, especially against Korean Protoss. Let's see if he can pick up another win. He did lose to Marine Lord on New Pompeii, so he lost the PvT there, but I would never, ever question his PvP ability. It's always been really, really good. Not to be messed with. Although a map like this is kind of less Huck than I would have expected. Huck's known for really daring all-ins, and he's very good at it. His control is very good. His execution is very good. But this is not the kind of map where you can really do that. So it's more likely going to be something a little bit more protracted or something really cheesy. Now, a lot of gas has been taken on both sides already. Not really sure what that could indicate. Second pylon actually goes right next to the Nexus rather than going at the back. We'll see where the third pylon goes, because if it's sort of nestled away out of position, then he'll be trying to high-tech in some form. But neither player will be able to scout each other. If you are a Terran or a Zerg player, you can actually scout your opponent because you either have a Reaper or an Overlord. But as a Protoss player, there is literally no way to scout. So, PvP on this map is kind of a gigantic coin flip initially. Until you get Sentries with Hallucination out, until you get some kind of airplay out, you cannot scout. So you pick your build, and you research your player, and you hope that it works. Which is why it's weird that we even see a PvP here. But it's happening. So, 2 gases being mined by Huck. 3 gases being mined by Panic. There's one at the back, so we're going to see Stargate from Panic. I like that. That's pretty sensible. Warp Gate Tech is being researched here by Huck. Now, what on earth is he planning to do from here? He's building a mothership core as well. Is he going to expand? I like that. I like that decision. That's really good. So, the decision to expand is pretty solid. As long as if Panic builds an Oracle, Huck can actually defend it, which he can because he built a mothership core. What he doesn't want to do is go across the map and scout if that's a Phoenix, because we have seen this before on this map. If you go across and scout with a mothership core and your opponent builds a Phoenix, you lose your mothership core, and then you follow with an Oracle, and you're dead. It's really as simple as that. You lose. Straight up. And it's a Phoenix. So this is a bit of a risk here for Huck, to say the least. He's almost certainly going to lose his mothership core here. This is actually kind of suicidal. Recall will be done in 25 seconds, but the Phoenix is going to hit him before that. So I am very concerned here for Huck. Really concerned. And the Phoenix should go right at it, I would imagine. Oh, is he hiding the Phoenix? He is. No, where is it? There it is. Okay. I'm going to say, is he really hiding the Phoenix? Well, Huck's in a bit of trouble here. He will be able to recall out. He should, I think. Yeah, I think. Don't go the other way, because the Phoenixes are about to kill you. Oh, second Phoenix coming in. Ah! If he'd gone that way, he would have been able to recall. Oh, man. Huck himself. Wow, Huck's actually going to engage in the Phoenix Wars here. And that's a bit of a problem, because he's behind, Phoenixes-wise. And that's never where you want to be. If you can't build Phoenixes as fast as your opponent, you lose the Phoenix War. So, in my opinion, Huck making an error to go out there with his mothership core. Having seen that happen before on this map in PvP, it's a big risk. And Phoenix openers on this map are now very popular as a result of getting good scouting information, being able to pick off things like Overlords, and of course pick off in PvP things like mothership cores that try to wander across the map. What Huck does have going for him, though, is an expansion much quicker than his opponent. So his pro production is going to be a lot higher. That said, he's also going to be harassed a lot more because there are 4 Phoenixes coming out, and he currently only has... he's going to have 3 by the time this hits. So, in theory, Panic wins that fight 100% of the time, but he may not win it with enough Phoenixes for that to really matter. And there is a Stalker on the ground as well to help, so Huck is actually looking in a pretty good spot here. Of course, if only 1 Phoenix is left alive, it can't pick up probes, so it just neuters the harassment attempt, and that's kind of fine. So Huck can start to beaver away on his economy. He's already 5 probes ahead. In comes the Phoenix harass, and it actually doesn't get anything done. I'm surprised. Panic could have got a couple of probes there and got out without taking too much damage. He's playing a little bit cautiously, actually. A lot of respect for his opponent here, I feel. I think that Phoenix opener is a very safe one on this map. It gives you a lot of control. And it's currently 6 Phoenixes versus 5. No mothership core out for Huck at this point. Which, you know, might be useful, but against Phoenixes it doesn't really do that much. The Photon Overcharge is nice, but Phoenixes are so fast and actually surprisingly tanky with 180 hit points that killing anything with a Photon Overcharge is really not going to work out so well. So we will see 7 Phoenixes versus 7. Panic is going to go in. He's looking for it. He's trying to get something done. Where do they go from here? I mean, this is just a giant arms race at the moment to see who has the most Phoenixes. But it's a race that will be won by Huck in the long run because he has those extra probes. He's been mining significantly longer, and you can see there's a big mineral difference. And, oh, Panic! He's dedicating to it. He's going for Fleet Beacon. He wants Anion Pulse Crystals. I'm actually kind of surprised that he's committing. But in reality, I mean, what do you do from this position if you're Huck? Well, I think you go Blink, and I believe he thinks the same thing. Twilight Council, get a bunch of Stalkers. Phoenix Stalker will beat... Will that beat Phoenix with range? I actually couldn't tell you. I don't think so. Not unless Panic gets out of position. Oh, wow, this is full air. +1 being added on here by Panic, so he really wants to go all in on this. Alright, okay. Well, we'll see an Anion Pulse Crystals follow-up coming up here from Panic. There you go. So that is the +2 range for the Phoenixes. So, ranged Phoenixes versus unranged Phoenixes, well, that goes about as well as you would expect for the unranged Phoenixes. So Huck is going to have to think about this pretty carefully. Templar Archives. Alright, well, I mean, Archons won't make... Archons kind of help here, because of course Archons can't be picked up. He might be trying to get Storm. I don't even know if Huck actually suspects, because he has no scouting information here, that his opponent is actually going Fleet Beacon and Neon Pulse Crystals. But it is a fairly common response when you get into a Phoenix Arms race with no end in sight. But the Phoenix Arms race has gone heavily in favor of Panic. He kept building Phoenixes, and his opponent didn't. His opponent is going for other tech. So I'm a bit concerned for Huck. Huck is going heavily into Zealot, so we'll probably see Zealot Archon here as a result. The Stalker count isn't that high, so Blink Stalker not an option. But yeah, Zealot Archon. Right, well, he's going to have to try and make his way through and start to do damage then, because, I mean, that's 12 Phoenixes with Anion Pulse Crystals. He will lose his entire Phoenix army here. One Archon is not going to stop that from happening. A Photon Overcharge isn't going to help too much. A bit of a supply block here for Huck as well, which is not really what you want to do. He's going to build a few more, and in comes the engagement, and the Pulse Crystals are not going to help in this spot, though. Huck is able to jam him into a corner where the range doesn't matter, but I think Huck already realizes, uh-oh, that's a lot more Phoenixes than I have. I wonder if he realizes the range yet. He's about to. It's coming in. +1's about to finish here as well. Nice little feedback here by Huck. Picks off one of the Phoenixes. It's a nice little move. Where's his Mothership Core? His Mothership Core is in here, so it will be able to deploy Photon Overcharge in the next 20 seconds or so. Pylon placed here, and Huck is really posturing. He wants to go for a fight, but I think he's going to expand here, because he's seen, oh, you've gone for nothing but Phoenixes. Okay, I'm going to expand then. Oh, it's not going to expand quite yet, but you get the idea. 15 Phoenixes versus 7 right now. And Panic is starting to build out of this, realizing, oh, right, okay, you've got a pretty strong ground army. My Phoenix army's not going to kill you. And you've got a lot of Archons as well, so if I get in close, then I'm in a lot of trouble. With 3 Archons, you don't really want to fight there. Panic actually expanding right towards his opponent. That's a really weird place to do that, considering that there's a pylon right here. And he knows there's a pylon right here. If Huck realizes that there's an expansion here, that expansion dies immediately to Warped-in Zealots, which is why I'm extremely surprised he elected to expand there. It's very, very odd behavior there by Panic. I wonder what his plan is. I mean, Huck wouldn't scout there in a million years, though, would he? Oh, he sees a probe, though. Okay. He might be thinking about it. You know, he might be thinking, hang on a minute, why is there a probe going down there? What's your reason there? I mean, the other possibility is a pylon goes on the low ground and he actually warps directly into Huck's base. I mean, that's feasible. It's a bit weird. And he could then use the Nexus to cover with Photon Overcharge. I know that's absolutely insane, but it's possible. It's definitely possible. Panic's going to lose himself a Phoenix here. Currently, very even worker count. 10 workers killed so far by Panic. Not really worth the investment as of yet, I don't feel, in the huge amount of Phoenixes and Anion Pulse Crystals he gets. Wow. Huck. Oh, loses a couple of Templar in the Warp-in as well. That's not what you want. Archon coming in behind that, though. Huck is getting picked at here. And there's not a huge amount he can do yet. Thank God the lag is gone. Jeez. Mothership Core down as well. Photon Overcharge was popped just before that. And Huck's got to be feeling pretty frustrated now. But he is taking this third base, and it is now established with Photon Cannons. So, what is Panic's plan with this base? Why would he put it there? But hey, whatever works. I mean, it could just be because Panic can't work his way through anything else. The engagement comes in once again. And we see 5 Phoenixes versus 14. Panic now going to go for the minimal line again, I think. Zealots coming in. They're going to get picked off very, very quickly. The Archons are trying to move into position, but Huck's sort of... He's just trying to engage against this, and it's really hard. And now Huck's got to see, look, there's a base here. Look at it. There's a base. It's right there. Warp in Zealots and just kill everything. Warp in Templar in the high ground. Kill that. But Huck, I think, has to go for an attack here. I don't think there's really any question about that. Man, why did Panic not expand here? This is the much more logical place to go, surely, but never mind. Yeah, more engagement. I mean, this mineral line is going to be picked clean by the looks of it. Panic's just going to gut it. And he's got a lot of units to make that happen, and the push is coming. Huck's on the way. Panic's going to realize it. He's going to get some Archon shots off here. Oh, Panic, so close, playing with fire there. The Zealot Archon force by Huck, though, is huge. Army supply is heavily in his favor, and bear in mind, a lot of the army supply of Panic is in Phoenixes. So that could be a real problem for him. The push is coming forward. Panic's going to start picking up Zealots at the front here, and he's doing so very well. He gets about 4 or 5, but now the push comes in, and, well, Panic is going to be in panic mode. He's got no units. He has 2 Archons, 16 Zealots, and that's pretty much about it. Against that many Archons, and his Phoenixes are doing a good job, though. The force is getting picked apart before it even gets there. So that is weakening Huck's army significantly, but he still has no answer to these Archons, which are about to bear down on this army. And Huck's thinking to himself, oh, I don't know if I want to go in there. I don't blame him. There's 3 more Archons being morphed in. Then I think he will go. Absolutely. Huck's still sitting on 3 base economy behind this, by the way, so even if he loses his army, he's not in a terrible spot. And Panic is going down the ramp. I don't agree with that at all. There's 9 Archons. No way. I would not go in there ever, ever with Zealots. And these Zealots are going to last about 3 seconds. And he's going to go for it. No way, no way. Panic, you would be out of your mind. You would be out of your mind to do that. But he's looking for it. He's looking for an angle. So, look at it. Look at this. He's surrounded his entire Zealot force in Archons. It is completely shielded. The 3rd base has been found as well. Uh-oh. That's going to put the Archons at the back, though. I'm a bit worried about this. Panic is looking for the engagement. There's still surely enough Archons to fight it, though. And these Phoenixes are caught. Oh, hang on. The Phoenixes could be used to pull that out of position. Militia Corps goes down as well. Huck is engaging really well here. The Phoenixes are looking to go into the base, but I think that Huck has got what he needs to push forward. Zealots moving in. Archons engaging here as well. And most of the Zealots are actually off to the side here, which is not going to work out well for Panic whatsoever. The Archons moving in. We need to see some target fire here from Huck. And the flank comes in for the side. Huck tries for the pickup, and Startale Panic with the grab from the back there. It's just Archons left here for Huck, but that's more than enough to kill the Zealot force, and Phoenixes don't do anything to Archons, as you're well aware. And the Archons live! The Archons stand strong. 7 Archons left here for Huck as he continues to push forward with an almost pure Archon composition. Zealots coming in for the back to reinforce. And more Warpins for Huck as well, working on +3, hammering himself home. And Panic is in a terrible spot right now. 85 army supply to 121, and that's army supply in Archons, and all he's got are Zealots. That doesn't work. I mean, Archons are going to tank an infinite number of Zealots and absolutely obliterate them. Phoenixes don't do anything to Archons. Really smart play by Huck. 2-0 for EG. Man, so smart from Huck, so smart. Hey, you going heavy Phoenix? Pure Archon, let's go. I'll fight you any day of the week. And I think Panic may have overdone it with the Phoenix, and he didn't do enough damage. I like the commitment to Anion Pulse Crystals, but he should have destroyed, as far as I'm concerned anyway, he should have destroyed every Phoenix that Huck had, and then he should have started picking at mineral lines. Way more than he did. The number of workers lost was far, far too low to justify that investment, and he kept building Phoenix. And then Huck said, alright, you're gonna do that? Okay, alright. I'm gonna go Zealot Archon, and I'm just gonna wreck you, and I'm gonna go heavy on the Archons as well. Nice. Very nice. Lovely play by Huck. Well defended. And a really interesting PvP considering. That map. It has some very odd possibilities going for it, I've got to say. Well, EG is currently up 2-0 in this clan war. Who's coming up next? I can tell you. It's going to be Jaedong. Pet is going to be his opponent. Well, we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to SHOUTCraft Clan Wars. I correct myself from earlier, by the way. We were actually using an old lineup. So here's what happened as we start this game between Jaedong and Curious. So Hack, unfortunately, couldn't play this week. So at the agreement of both teams, we allowed Startale to revise their lineup, which we did. So Curious is now playing against Jaedong here on Neokeru. And I'm just really concerned that we're back on Korea. And I'm seeing similar symptoms to what we saw last time. Now, on NA it was totally fine, but on the observer end, the lag was really bad, so I'm not really sure what is causing that. Obviously, there's not really much I can do about it, but it's not affecting the players, which is perhaps the most important part. So, I'm afraid you're going to have to bear with us. It looks like we're getting it again. It must be some kind of routing issue today between NA and Korea. I don't know. I don't know what it is, honestly. I'm sorry, guys. This is really disappointing for me as well, but... And the game is playing. I'm gonna ask the players if they're lagging. I have no explanation. I mean, I cast a lot on Korea, and this is the first time I've seen this, so... It may be a Battle.net issue, since today they are doing updates on... what is it? Yes, Diablo 3, I believe. So that might be an issue, but the players are reporting no lag, so... I'm sorry, we're just gonna have to deal with it. Sorry. I know it sucks from a spectator standpoint, but there's not really much we can actually do about it. I can't force the players to move over to another server that they aren't comfortable playing on, so we'll just have to deal with it. Again, I'm really sorry about this. It's kind of outside of my control. Alright, to the northeast position in the Red Trunks playing Zerg for Startale, we have Curious versus his opponent who has just been on fire today. Good lord. After all killing Root in the qualifiers for Ace of Team Story Cup Season 3, in the Blue Trunks playing Zerg for Evil Geniuses, it's the mighty Jaedong. And yes, as I said before, this lag is not affecting the players. This is purely a spectator issue and only happening for me and only happening on Korea. So that indicates some kind of routing or routing issue, depending on which country you happen to be from. Oh well, here's hoping that things do settle down. We do have a couple more matches on Korea, so that might end up happening again, I'm afraid. And Jaden is now going to move his way across the map, having taken his spawning pool. I'm going to see a hatchery first here from Curious. Nothing out of the ordinary for either player, just more of a stylistic choice between the two. And it shouldn't really make a huge amount of difference. We're going to see a gas before pool here for Curious, actually. So, very, very greedy. That pool is going to be, what, 16, 17? He can actually place the pool right now, and he's not. He's going all the way up to 17 pool. Very, very greedy build. Now, the only build you could do that's greedier is 3 hatch before pool, which is not really an option on this map under any circumstances. So, that's a good choice against what Jaedong has done right now, because he's gone for a gasless build. So, there's really no pressure that Jaedong can initially put on this. Not at all. He can get his lings out a bit earlier, but he can't really get anything done with them. He can make his way across the map, get a bit of a scout, but that is going to be about it. Lings will start to come out for Curious, a queen will come out for Curious, and that's going to be all she wrote there. And it's going to mean that Curious gets a lot of speed very quickly. So the question is, what does Jaedong intend to do here? His speed is going to be way far behind. Speed is about to start here for Curious. Curious is also sitting on a lot of minerals here. I'd be surprised if he took a third at this point. But if he's getting speed so early, he could maybe defend one. I mean, he's going to have to spend a lot of money on a bunch of other stuff, like double queen and metabolic boost. So, no, that's not going to happen. Jaedong's still gasless here. So he's going to have to go extremely queen heavy, because Curious is going to have so much map control for a very long time. Still no sign of gas here from Jaedong. Metabolic boost is already 25 seconds in for our Startale Zerg player. Jaedong with a little bit of a scout, seeing what's going on. And, of course, we'll lose both lings by the looks of it, which is a really nice interception. Oh, yep, maybe, possibly, yes. There we go. So losing both lings to Curious, not exactly ideal. And that means Jaedong is, at this point, now in the dark. He knows that his opponent has lings. He did not get into the base. Actually, never mind, he did get into the base. I am completely talking out of my ass. He saw that spawning pool was researching metabolic boost, and that there was, of course, gas up, but there was nothing in gas. So Curious is now going to start to put the pressure on. He says, hang on a minute. Hang on. That's a lot of queens you got at the front there. I'm thinking you're gasless right now, and maybe, just maybe, I can make something happen with it. Let's see how good Jaedong's queen control is. He's going to go all the way up to 4 queens. He still has not taken gas. Yeah, he is a gasless Zerg against pure speedling at this point, and is going to be relying on queens and spine crawlers. He has nothing else. Not a thing. And this is worrying. I mean, there are going to be 29 Zerglings for Curious on the map against 4 queens and a spine crawler, which under all circumstances does not work for the player that doesn't have the speedlings. And more to the point, these queens are getting a bit out of position. They're trying to kill off this Overlord. They're trying to make their way back in now, but the Lings are starting to make their way across the map. They could get caught. Yeah, it's so close. Curious is going to go for it. He might catch the back queen. He's going for it, and he's going to make his way all the way in here. And Jaedong has so little to defend this. The queens are going to die immediately. Transfuse. 2 queens dead. Surrounded the spine crawler. Spine crawler down. I mean, Jaedong's dead here, surely. Surely. He's building a roach war, and he's bringing Lings out now. I don't think he's going to die immediately, but he's going to take some damage. Certainly. Let's see how many drones he loses from this. He's now bringing in enough Lings to fight it, but they're not speedlings, and there's no way the Curious will stick around. So far, 8 workers killed by Curious, and 3 queens. This is a disastrous start here for Jaedong. But he does have a Roach Warren, and is building a second Roach Warren. Building a second Roach Warren. Well, that's unusual. Alright, well, I guess it makes it a lot harder to pick it off. Alright, well, the fight comes in. And Jaedong does not quite have the Ling numbers. With speed in particular, Curious is going to be able to collapse around those Lings and kill him. But he did lose a lot of his Lings in the process. So Curious does not have an effective fighting force anymore. Roaches... Jaedong's still building Lings here and not actually building any Roaches. But, oh man, he's down to 1 queen, so he can't produce anywhere near enough lava. Here come the Roaches. Drones are now being mineral walked through this, and Curious is going to win the fight just barely once again. Now the drones come off to fight. Curious continuing to engage here. Baneling Nest coming up here for Curious. I mean, he's doing so much economic damage to Jaedong, but Jaedong is not dead yet. Roaches are now up, and that's going to help. But the surround is immediately coming in from Curious. He gets it, nails him down. All 3 Roaches will die. A few more Roaches pop out. Roach surround there, and the queen being surrounded as well. Jaedong has surprisingly not died yet. but he is down 17 workers and continuing to be so. Curious piles the pressure on, and that's GG. And a simple build order loss for Jaedong there. He was now 0-3 in this clan war. He is actually the player who has lost the most so far, which is surprising, to say the least, I think, for a lot of people. They would be shocked to hear that Jaedong was the worst performing in the clan war thus far, but it's true. And he drops the map to Curious, just kind of a pure build order loss, really. Very strange performance there from Jaedong. Curious, obviously, with the right build in the right situation. Go for that very, very greedy play against a gasless opening, which, you know, has its risks, but he says, hey, that's fine. Then I can go immediately to speed and just hit you on 2 bases with just lings, and that's enough. Oh, well, there you go. Jaedong drops another one, and Curious puts one on the board for Startale, so we have ourselves a clan war on our hands. Ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna happen. Alright, the next game in this clan war will be the 2v2. Pet and Legend will face Xenocider and Suppy. And I hope that Legend is ready for this, because Xenocider and Suppy make a hell of a 2v2 team. We'll be back after the break to find out who can pick it up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to SHOUTCraft Clan Wars. Again, we apologize for the latency issues. These do not appear to be affecting the players, but they are certainly affecting me as an observer, so I have a feeling it's a routing issue for NA. These guys are ready to rock and roll, so we're going to get started on Sacred Path, which will be our 2v2 for the day. And thus far, EG are looking strong. Jaedong did drop the ball for them, though, which he has actually done quite a few times in Clan Wars to this point. He is certainly a busy man. He did incredibly well in Ace of Team Story Cup, but for some reason, Clan Wars seems to be getting the best of him. Well, again, really sure why that is, but never mind. It does put 1 point on the board there for Startale, which will extend their possibility of staying in this war after 2 fairly heavy losses early on, with Xenocider taking out Legend and Huck basically destroying Panic completely. And now we'll see just how good Startale is at 2v2, will we not? And I forgot to change my overlay out, didn't I? Oh well, never mind. This is not the fault of GameHeart, by the way. This thing down here, this is actually an issue, and it's my own fault. I didn't turn the overlay off, but never mind. I guess it shall be fine. There is no overlay designed for 2v2 as of yet. We definitely need one. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. 4-team Startale. And again, we apologize for this observer lag here. There's nothing we can really do about it right now. It seems to be happening on Korea only. To the east position, in the pink trunks playing Zerg, it is Pet. And to the south position, playing Terran, it is Legend. Versus their opponents to the west position, in the red trunks for Team Coco, which I'm fairly sure that is certainly not the case, nor are Team Coco a competitive StarCraft team. That is a lie. Suppy is a liar. He's a phony. And his teammate to the top here, also for EG, having already picked up a win already in this clan war, it is Xenocider in the light blue. Okay, so last time we saw Xenocider and Suppy play, they employed a different strategy. The first time around, they rolled out with 10 pool Hellion, which is definitely not happening here at all. In fact, it actually looks like Suppy is probably going to go for... he's still building drones. I mean, he could go for 15 pool here, certainly. Or he may even go for 15 hatch. In the meantime, Legend actually just building a wall off here. Scout comes in from Suppy. He's going to see what he needs to see. He sees that Pet has gone for the spawning pool. 14. So, not going for a huge early rush as of yet. Looks like Suppy will attempt to... Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Suppy... There we go. Sorry, this overlay is not working correctly. I was trying to look at income, but it was coming up wrong. So I was like, hang on a minute, Suppy doesn't have any money. Well, that's actually not true. He does. He is setting up this expansion here. So we need to not look at this overlay. God damn it. I'm sorry, guys. This has been a comedy of errors today. Oh, man. Starting with the lag and all sorts of nonsense. There we go. Suppy with the pull on 15 supply as well, and the gas coming in as well. So, neither of these players wanting to get initially aggressive. Legend with a second barracks, however, behind this. Which is very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Suppy is not within visual range of it either. That's a sneaky place to put an Overlord, certainly, although it is at risk of being killed if a barracks lifts up, so you do want to watch out for that. Xenocider with his own expansion as well. Pet with a couple of lings on the map, but nothing he can really do a huge amount with yet. He may decide to swell lings on one base, though, and in fact it's looking like he will, because he has not expanded yet, so he wants to just get aggressive. Baneling nest coming up. Alright, one base Baneling bust here from Pet. Will it be reinforced? Well, I imagine so. It's going to be reinforced with barracks. 3 barracks on 1 base for Legend here, too. So, Xenocide and Suppy have both taken very economic approaches, which actually could be their downfall here. They're going to have to be very aware of what's coming on. Suppy will see the move out, though. He sees the Marine count. He will see more Marines moving into this position, which should give him and Xenocide a warning. Pet is moving across, and he wants to try and contest this command center. There are enough Marines to prevent that right now. Pet hasn't got a lot of Lings on the map yet. So, it will delay it, maybe. He's not willing to risk it as of yet. So, Xenocide is able to finish the command center, and we'll try to defend that. Suppy's bringing his own Lings out here as well. But speed is not done for Suppy, and speed is certainly done for Pet. However, Bunker is coming up, and Xenocide is in a really good position to fight that. Really good. In the meantime, we've got a lot of stuff coming in, but he is going to make his one run right into the mineral line. He will pick off reinforcements, and that's going to cause a problem. That's going to mean that Xenocide is going to have to deal with this. There's more Lings on the way. He's going to pick off reinforcements here as well, so Pet's control is looking pretty good at this point. And the Marines are going to be coming in. Suppy does see a lot of them. He still doesn't see those barracks. If only he poked in, he would see that this is a 3 barracks play. He has not confirmed that as of yet. He doesn't even know if there's an expand there. He hasn't checked. Suppy's about to have speed, but how much damage has really been done here? It's going to be a bunker salvage, by the looks of it. And Xenocide, well, he can't mine there. Simple as that. So this expansion is not going to help him a huge amount. It'll get him a mule or 2, but that's really about it. Suppy is moving to reinforce, however. Bringing his Lings in. He needs to sync it up with the Marines, though, in order for this to actually work. And there we go. Suppy will be able to successfully defend his teammate by the looks of it. But this Marine count, man. 1 base, 3 racks, stim timing. This is Wings of Liberty beta right here from Legend. And it could work. It very well could work in an environment like this. Once again, we stress that the players are not experiencing this visual lag that we're currently getting. I'm sorry, this is obviously very annoying to watch. But currently, there is a real issue between NA and Korea. And I'm not sure what's causing it. It could be the Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls launch. That might have something to do with it. And they're going to collapse the rocks. Alright. Well, this is a pretty good idea, considering that Legend is just building up a huge Marine count with Stim. This is going to delay this attack significantly. The Banelings are on the way, and they've collapsed the rocks now. And Pet, well, Pet's going to have to work his way through here, which is going to take a long time. So, this is really well planned out by Suppy and Xenocide. And said, alright, let's go with an economic focus build. And let's try and hold our economies, make sure everything's okay. And then we'll collapse the rocks in the center, which will delay any kind of 1-base play. And Pet and Legend are in big trouble now. There's actually drop capability here from Legend, though, so we will be able to bypass this. It's going to take a lot of work, and Xenocide is going to actively defend it. So, getting his way through those rocks is going to be difficult. He might want to try and do the rocks elsewhere. And Xenocide is patrolling to try and find it, and he finds it here, too. Very nice. Overlord gets in, and gets the scout, sees, oh, it's 1 base, 3 racks, all in, basically. But he does have drop ships, so medevacs are now on the way, and Legend is preparing to attack. Things are getting kind of crazy. So, Pet is trying to find a hole in this wall. Xenocide is patrolling to try and find it. But defenses are being established here by our EG team. Come on, Xenocide. He finds them again. These rocks are kind of getting nibbled away at. I'm interested to know what on earth's going to happen with these medevac drops here from Legend, however. There's the drop coming right in onto Xenocide's base, but Suppy is actually there with a defense. And along with the Marines, should be able to push this back. However, in the meantime, the question is, where are the other drops? What are they doing? Well, Legend is trying to find a way into Xenocide's base, but it's not happening right now. Very difficult to make his way in there. We're seeing Pet go up to Lair. He has taken his expansion now, but he's way behind economically, and these Banelings are not going to do anything. So, this strategy here by EG, very, very good indeed. I do feel that of all the teams that have played this map, Evil Geniuses understand this map better than anybody. And they've had great success as a direct result of that. Xenocide and Suppy are both playing really well together. They're reinforcing each other. They're defending where they need to go. And while Legend has a massive Marine count, well, I mean, what is he going to do with it? Even then, he's actually behind Xenocide in terms of number of Marines, if you can really believe that. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but I mean, Legend has been on 1 base this entire time. Xenocide got up an early expand, and he held it as well. So Xenocide is on 40 SCVs, whereas Legend is only on 27. So frankly, it's not going to really do much, is it? Reinforcements being brought in, Xenocide with a drop, and Legend looking to reinforce as well with his own drops. But Pet should be able to clean this up. I mean, his link count is absolutely massive, so that shouldn't really be a problem at all. Doesn't have to worry too much about that, but I think he is going to go for a drop here and try and slow down this command center. He succeeds in doing just that, and Legend might end up getting out-multitasked here. Drop is coming back around, but there are way too many Lings there. Pet should be able to hold this without any problem whatsoever. Xenocider will now look for the drop, but there's no spot. There's no safe spot to put that. Absolutely not. I love the fact that Suppy's base is just defended by Lings at this point. The fact that Xenocider's base is defended by Suppy's Lings. Is there a hole in the wall yet? Well, so far, Xenocider and Suppy have patrolled the wall, and they've held it. They've made sure that no one can make their way through here, which means that Pet's build is completely useless, and he's going for a 2-base Spire, which would be great if he'd started it, I don't know, 6 minutes ago, but he didn't. So I love the position that EG's in right now, I really do. They're in a great spot, looking very, very solid. Jeez, this lag is so bad. I already hate Diablo Reaper of Souls, and it's not even out yet. I'm pretty sure it's causing all this nonsense. Good lord. Alright, Legend has decided it's had enough. I mean, they do need to fight, let's be honest. Pet's had 42 Lings and Banelings sitting around doing nothing. And he has been able to get his drone count up. You know, that's one edge that he's been able to get going. But Suppy isn't any slouch in that respect either. But Suppy actually has even more Lings than Pet does. Drop comes in again. Xenocider does more damage. Legend is losing all of his SCVs here. And in fact, there's even enough Marines to actually fight the forces that Legend currently has. Legend's army is caught out in the middle of the map. Xenocider decides that discretion, the better part of valor. But Suppy is ready. Suppy has Banelings. Suppy is ready to go. And the amount of damage done to Legend's economy is just extreme. Really, really bad. And Xenocider going for the drop here as well to the back. Yet more SCVs getting gunned down. I mean, this is going to be almost the entire worker count. In fact, it probably will be, of Legend. He's got nothing for him right now. He's having to move back to defend, which is going to give the opportunity for Suppy to push forward with a big force of Ling, Baneling, Roach, which should overwhelm everything the Pet has. The only thing Pet's currently got going for him, Mutalisks. There's nothing in this army that's going to shoot up, but Xenocider will be able to bring in many Marines. He has 53. EG is ahead in every possible respect at this point. This is not looking in any way good for Startale. Absolutely not. Pet gets himself an Overlord, which is a little bit of a victory, I suppose, but Suppy has 50 more supply than him. Legend's supply is down to 50 as well, so, I mean, Suppy's on 100 more supply alone. Suppy could kill both of these players right now on his own, and that was assuming that Xenocider didn't have 66 Marines and 8 Medivacs, which he does. So Pet is going to have to get the best Baneling engagements in history, and good luck doing that against that many Roaches. Xenocider crushes through, the Roaches crush through. Startale is getting buried here, quite frankly. It's blindingly obvious who the better 2v2 team is in this position. Suppy is going to chase this down. Going to finish this off. And that is really going to be it. So the third base is getting sacked right now. Xenocider said, alright, I'm going to go deal... Oh, wow, he has a Pet Baneling with him. That's really nice. I'm going to go deal with Legend. I'm going to kick him out. Send him back to his role as an observer in the GSL. I bet he wishes he was observing this map right now rather than playing it. Because this is one-sided. Suppy crashes into the main base. Legend comes in with reinforcements. He may be able to push this back, but he will do so at the cost of his own base. He's going to lose everything. There are far too many Marines to defend here. Legend being overrun. Legend with only 40 supply remaining, trying to repulse the remains of Suppy's army. And they will be able to push it back. But it doesn't matter. Suppy's got a lot more units on the way, and that still doesn't answer Xenocider's army, which is absolutely huge. Just massive. Huge amount of Marines. He's about to go up to 100 Marines. 100 Marines, ladies and gentlemen. If you can believe that. Jesus. And here it is. 100 Marines. Well, I think it's safe to say that that's the GG. Legend is out, Pet is out, and EG up 3 games to 1. Do not mess with EG in 2v2s. Don't. You will be murdered. Horribly. Suppy and Xenocider go up 3 games to 0 in their 2v2. I mean, they are the best 2v2 team in this league right now. Not even a shadow of a doubt in that. Not one. Well, there it is. Incredible. Alright, folks. Next map is going to be coming shortly. Again, there's nothing we can really do about this latency. I'm really sorry it's kind of ruining things for you. Definitely not what I wanted. But the show must go on, after all. The next map will be New Pompeii, and it will be a Zerg vs. Zerg. Life will be the last man standing. He's got to bring it back and allow Pet to go up against JYP. Unfortunately, all these games are on Korea, so we're going to get more of the lag. I'm sorry. We'll be right back, folks. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to SHOUTCraft Clan Wars, and we will continue. Once again, we apologize for the latency. We believe this is actually to do with the Diablo launch. The Koreans are reporting lag on the NA server right now as well, so we believe it is a BattleNet issue. It's unfortunate. But unfortunately, we can't really reschedule the match. We don't have time for that. That's not really possible. And of course, we're already most of the way through. So we will continue to play on Korea. We very much apologize for the visual experience. I would absolutely not blame you at all if you headed over to the Twitch stream, which is the Korean stream, who is currently streaming from Europe. He is not having these problems because he is streaming from Europe. It seems to be the connection between NA and Korea that's currently not working very well. So, if you want to watch that, by all means, you can see it on the front page of teamliquid.net. I don't know if it's possible to sync it up, but, you know, you can maybe watch that and maybe listen to the commentary here, but I'm really sorry about this. I know this is not acceptable viewing experiences for anybody. At the moment, Life is even having trouble logging into BattleNet at the moment, and we even had problems with our admin earlier, so basically, we shouldn't have done a clan war on Reaper of Souls launch. That was a mistake. That was not a very good idea. We have learned that. Don't ever do a StarCraft event on the same day that a Blizzard product is coming out, because BattleNet is keeling over and dying at this point. Give LAN, Plex. Give LAN. Well, so far, EG have put on a really good show, I've got to say. I'm so impressed by EG's Foreigner lineup up to this point. In the Clan War, they have taken this so seriously and have really come with some incredible builds. There's some really great plays from everybody. And strangely enough, it's been the Korean end of EG that's been letting them down with Jaedong. I mean, Jaedong's been the biggest letdown of EG this entire time. There's not even a question about that. He's lost every game. Even JYP has put on a significantly better performance there, but the foreigners for EG are really carrying the torch right now, and I'm very impressed. That's really, really cool. Anyone that doesn't understand how much preparation really matters in something like this needs to only watch Clan Wars and see exactly just how well the foreigners really do here. It's pretty incredible to watch, honestly. I'm really impressed. This is what the lineup currently looks like, with 3 games to 1 in favor of Evil Geniuses. And Life is going to be put on here for the first time in a 1v1. They haven't had to use him up to this point, but they're going to now. And he's going to be going up against Suppy. And that's a hard one to call. Life CVZ is really powerful. I would probably give the edge to Life, but I would never underestimate Suppy and ZVZ either. Absolutely not. It's a terrible idea. He's done really well, and in fact, he was the one to take out Bjol in the rather awesome 4-1 win against Incredible Miracle, the debut match of SHOUTCraft Clan Wars. Looks like Life is ready to go, and Suppy is ready to go as well. And we'll be going into this match, which will be New Pompeii, which is a very Zerg-friendly map, very much so. And so it doesn't surprise me at all that both teams decided to put a Zerg on it. And ZVZ on this map can get really weird, as we've noticed, because this is a 5-spawn map with 2 ramps into every base. Very, very odd. Alright. Well, again, I know the lag, the visual lag, will most likely make this very difficult to watch, and I'm very sorry about that. But like I said, there is a Korean stream available, which is not having that visual lag right now, and it's over on the front page of teamliquid.net. It's Golden Stream. He is casting in Korean from Europe. So that means he's not getting lag. So there you go. Alright, folks. Well, thanks for your patience nonetheless. We're going to go into the next game right here and see what happens. So far, Startale have been having a rough time of it. Let's see if Life, who is, I wouldn't even say arguably their ace, who is unquestionably their ace, can bring it back for them. Welcome to New Pompeii. Will this be the obliteration of the Startale civilization? We'll find out. Will they be buried under ash? Or will they rise again like the phoenix? In the red trunks, playing Zerg to the northeast, we have E.G. Suppy versus his opponent to the south position. In the purple trunks, also playing Zerg, it's Startale Life. Life must find a way here. He must. He has no choice. Because if he drops it here, then that's going to be another 4-1 victory against the top Korean team for EG, in which case, one has to wonder, Who the hell can stop EG? They're so good right now in this league. They're really, really good. They only barely lost to Millennium, and it was a really, really close fight, honestly. We had 4GG kind of bringing it out for Millennium without question, but EG put up a really good fight. Xenocide beating Daishi, I think, is a result that most people didn't expect. Daishi is a very, very competent player indeed. Very good. Arguably one of the best foreign Terrans in the world. So Xenocide taking him down was a bit of a shock for a lot of people. And even Xenocide put up a good fight against 4GG, who is incredibly good at what he does. But in this map, we are dealing with Life. And Life always finds a way. He is very resilient. His Zergling control is second to none. He's also on the Korean server, which will definitely help him out a little bit. Suppy, however, is... I believe he's still there. I think he's still in Taiwan, actually. So, he's having a reasonably good time of it. He will not have too much lag at all, if any. So that shouldn't be a problem. Life taking the gamble and expanding away from his opponent, which is good. Glad to see that. On this map, when you're playing Zerg, you basically have to take a gamble, because... Scouting, if you scout in the wrong direction with a drone, you're in serious trouble. This map is a circle. So you go all the way around the side of the map and you'll see, hey, there's his base. But you could also go the other way. The thing is, it's a 5-spawn map. You don't know where your opponent is. So if you send your drone around the wrong way, then it can take a long time to get to the enemy base. A long time. So it's a bit of a risk. And most Zerg players just elect to scout with overlords and kind of roll the dice on their expansion. Now, in Suppy's case, he actually expanded towards his opponent, which could be potentially bad, but there are some advantages to that too. It does mean that the point of contention is most likely going to end up being here instead of the main. The main has 2 entrances, so if you can keep your opponent focused on your natural, you don't really have to worry too much about your main. But what we've seen in previous Zerg vs. Zerg is that the players that know what's going on this map will actually send Zerglings around to both, and they will actually attack from the back as well. So it can become very difficult to defend both. Be definitely challenging. Alright, so Suppy already with his drones out, and he's just finished his pull, so he's starting some lings here as well, but Life finishes his pull too. And he's just going to go speed, and that's really going to be that. Suppy's gone for a gasless build, and very similar to Jadong here. We'll have to see quite a few queens coming out to make this work. This was not a particularly greedy build from Life, not as much as we saw from Curious there, but it's a fairly similar sort of scenario that could end up happening. If Suppy is not able to hold, if Suppy doesn't get enough spines up, if Suppy doesn't get enough queens up, and really just get a sense of what's going on, he is going to be in big trouble, because Life will be able to just go pure Ling Rush and destroy him. So far, Suppy still has not taken gas, so again, very reliant on queens. He's going to go all the way up to 4. And he will be reliant on spines as well. But that's assuming, of course, that Life even decides to commit. He may not. He may decide, you know what? Okay. I'm okay with having map control. I don't really want to go in with a huge amount of Zerglings right now. They should be okay. Spine is coming up. Drone's on the way. So far, no big swallow lings. There's 6. 8. 10. Alright. The aggression begins. 14. Yep, Life is going for it. 20 lings. So, 2-base speedling build. Designed to do a lot of damage. Needs to do a lot of damage, because Suppy will be in a good economic position if he's able to survive this. 26 more lings. Alright. So, let's see if Suppy's defense is good enough. This is going to be a problem. Defending against this on this map is going to be very difficult. Depends which direction Life goes in. And it looks like Suppy might even scout this. He scouts that his opponent has speed. So, that should help a lot for him. And the attack is going to come in at the front here, which is really where Suppy wants it. But Life is just going to go all the way into the base. And Suppy doesn't really have a lot to defend that. There is no spine in the main. He does have an evolution chamber wall here, which is making it a little bit more difficult. And the spine is going to be finished quite soon. It's not done yet, but it's being worked on. There's a spine already in the natural as well. So this is a bit better of a position here for Suppy. But Life found his way into that drone line, and he ripped it to shreds. It's really as simple as that. Did a lot of damage there, and Suppy goes down to 19 drones. Which is, again, not where you want to be. Spinecrawler's got surrounded as well, and it will die. It's like, oh, almost dead. Monster maybe loop around and kill it. There we go. So Life with a quick pick off, and off he goes. No problem at all. Once again, we should stress that the players are not suffering this visual lag that we're getting here, and it's most likely due to the Reaper of Souls launch. So, we're sorry. We're really, really sorry. Okay, well, where do we go from here? Life's... Jeez. Yeah, this is actually getting even worse than previously. Well, I'm so sad. GG. Yeah. He was kind of dead. It's just so depressing. Lag is really doing us in. Well, that's that. Bit of a disappointing performance for Suppy, but it's to be expected. Pretty much a build or loss. That's EG 2 for 2 on losing to that build, by the way. Startale manages to pick that one up without too much of a problem. They're now even up the series 3 games to 2. And we will be heading on to the next map, which will be... In fact, check it right here. It is going to be Fallen Dreams. And it's going to be a PvZ on this map. Interesting. It's going to be JYP versus Pets. I'm going to be bringing you that very shortly, folks. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to SHOUTCraft Clan Wars. An extended break. We tried to see what we could do about the latency. There doesn't appear to be anything we can do. We're hoping it just cleans up. It's most likely associated with the Reaper of Souls launch. Just happened in Europe, is probably wrecking Battle.net in every way. So we don't really know what's going on with it. We can't move over to NA either because apparently the Koreans are having huge lag in North America right now, so they literally cannot play there. It's better for us as observers to have lag as opposed to the players have lag. It's really that simple. So we're hoping it's kind of cleared up, and we'll try and continue with the war as best we can here. We've got JYP versus Pet on the docket for you. Fallen Dreams will be the place to be. And we're going to start it off. EG currently leads the series 3 games to 2 after Suppy and Jaedong both lost to exactly the same build from both Curious and Life respectively. They basically got 2 base Speedling all in and killed, and they both went for a gasless opener, which clearly did not work, and this is no doubt going to be laggy again as well. It's even laggy on the starting of the game. It gets stuck on starting in 0 for about 20 seconds. We had problems even setting up the maps earlier. The map simply, they wouldn't load. Like, the list would not load. It was permanently that little spinning circle. Ugh. I don't know what to say about it, as I said. It's really unfortunate that the Reaper of Souls launch appears, we don't know for sure, of course, but it's a bit of a coincidence, certainly. It appears to be affecting our clan war somewhat, but... Well, we had to have it today, basically. We had to. This was, like, the last day of the month that we could have scheduled it outside of clashing with other stuff, so... Here we go. Let's hope that it's not too bad for you. Ladies and gentlemen, to the northeast position in the pink trunks... Playing Zerg, it is Startale Pet versus his opponent to the southwest position in the red trunks, playing Protoss. It is JYP from Evil Geniuses. Currently, the Korean stream, which is actually based in Germany right now, is not getting latency, so it's again some kind of routing or routing issue with the game. It's something like that, I think. So if you do want to watch the Korean stream, then I would suggest that you do that. It will be lag-free. You can kind of try and sync it up with us. It's not going to be completely the same, though. I do apologize for that. As I said, you know, no one wants this kind of thing to happen, but we didn't really have a say in the matter. Right, well, let's see what JYP can do. Can he finish it off for his team here? JYP carried quite a lot in Acer Team Story Cup's qualifiers earlier. He did really well. Really well. And Pets, well, we haven't seen too much of him yet. Not too much. Not too much success either, unfortunately. Startale has already dropped quite a lot of maps, really, I would say, due to a poor choice of player. Legend is obviously not up to the caliber of a full pro gamer, and he dropped his first map against Xenocider, and then he wasn't able to pull it out either alongside Pet in the 2v2, which Suppy and Xenocider were very clearly much better prepared for. So he's going to have to do work here if he wants to bring it back and take it to the ace match. Well, we will certainly see how that goes. Nexus is up for JYP. Nexus first play. Can be a little risky. A little bit risky, considering this is a map where Speedling all-ins work really well. The bridges actually cause a hell of a lot of problems for other races, but not necessarily Zerg, who can very easily make their way around and actually get the attack in. But Pet's not doing that. He's expanding. And he's getting his gas up, but he's going gasless at least for the moment. Let's see when he decides to take his gas. He's feeling fairly confident initially. Well, he is hoping it remains that way for him. And we will certainly not see an aggressive opening game. In fact, that's... Woo! Ooh, third hatchery going down very quickly there from Pet. Surprising considering he didn't scout when his opponent's gateway was going up. That could be a bit risky. It's possible that Pet really just knows JYP very well and has decided, you know what, I think I can go third hatchery here. It wasn't 3 hatch before pull, but it was the expand, and then once he got his pull down, he takes his third hatch, and as it turns out, it's the right play. Well, Pet doesn't know it yet, but it is the right play. There's nothing that's going to threaten him, really, for the time being. Cybercore is very late as a result of going Nexus first. There's only one gateway down. Can only really produce Zealots at this point, which is not really going to get him very far. So yeah, everything's looking fine. And there's no cannons either, so no forge. So JYP's not in a position to threaten this third hatchery, so Pet's build is good. It's really good. It should serve him well going forward here. Alright then, JYP. Let's see what you have for us. What is his build out of this? He may decide to just play super standard from this position. We should once again stress the players are not suffering the lag that you're currently seeing on screen. This appears to be a Battle.net related issue, which is probably to do with the Reaper of Souls launch and appears to be also associated with some kind of this wouldn't be transatlantic, would it? It would be trans-Pacific sort of routing issue, which is causing problems between NA and Korea at this stage. We don't really have much of an explanation for that. JYP with an interesting position here. I thought he was going to proxy that Stargate. I wonder if that's a fake. No, it can't be. Lovely surround there, actually. There's no way that's a fake. Absolutely not. No, he's just going to go for it. But that did get scouted. I was thinking maybe he proxies his Stargate here and then attacks, but it doesn't really make a huge degree of sense. So that's now been scouted by Pet. Pet knows what's coming. He is aware of the Stargate. You know what'd be so sick here that you would never see coming? A second Stargate. Second Stargate on the proxy and then 4 Oracle build to hit that base. That would just be ridiculous. That would be so cool. Zealot makes his way in. It's not going to get much done. Plenty of lings. It doesn't even get a drone. So, nice control here from Pet. JYP not able to really get looking up to this point. And, well, let's see what comes of it. The bridge is now extended. And we're going to see Pet make his way across. Oracle coming out. Still a probe. Just secreted away over there. You know, it would be kind of cool to see a pylon here, because you can walk past this. You could walk past those rocks. That would be an unexpected attack vector. Lings making their way in here. They're going to be met with the swift and tickling force of a mothership core, which will drive it away. And a wall off is solid here for JYP. He doesn't really have to worry about Lings right now. Not at all. Oracle's on the way out, and that's actually going to get seen. Pet's going to see it. And JYP is, of course, not going to elect to kill that, but, I mean, defense is going to be ready, I would imagine. It's going to be followed up by a Void Ray, a couple of gateways as well. Spore Crawler's going down at every base. So the Oracle's not going to get a huge amount done, I don't think. It will still do something, certainly, but Spore Crawlers are fast builders, and there are quite a few queens on the map. 2 queens, actually, at the natural, which is exactly where they need to be, and the Oracle takes half its shields worth of damage immediately. Now it's going to try and hit the third. And it can do it. I mean, there's a nice little position here where it can just nibble away, but it's already taken so much shield damage, it's not worth the risk. So far, the Oracle does nothing, and the Stargate basically does nothing. And we're going to see that pylon picked up as well. Pet is all over JYP at the moment. And a lot of Lings are certainly going to die here, but that Oracle was hoping to do something more useful. Oh, the cancellation! Man, I said it. Didn't I say that? Put a pylon there, but Pet was just way, way too map aware for that. He caught it out very nicely. Burrow upgrade being researched. Actually now cancelled. He was going to go for it, but he's decided not to do it. The Oracle's still up in the air and killing Zerglings. But that's not really what he built it for. He wanted to do some economic damage, and this is a bit of a problem. The Zerg is getting a bit of a runaway here. So many drones already. 68. 10 lava available. Now with the Roach warring up, researching double upgrades, adding more queens into the mix. You know, what does JYP do from here? He does have an Oracle, which will be helpful, and he can kind of push him with these Zealots, which are going to be found again. Pet moving for the interception. Actually runs right past them. I think he might want to kill the pylon at the back, actually, if he can find it. He doesn't know where it is exactly, but I think he's looking for it. The Zealot's going to move in, but there's 20 Lings on the way out. Hydra's on the way. JYP's in a pretty awful spot here. Pet with the surround, and a lot of Lings will die here, but it will stop the push, so really that doesn't matter all that much. The Oracle's going to go down! JYP! Oh, man. He's a bit sleepy, is this one. This is not going well for him at all. Pylon's getting picked off. Third base attempt is going up, but pressure is coming in. Pet doesn't want to allow that to happen. Not at all. It's Going for the surround, looking to try and get this Stalker out. Not able to do it. Force fields are now deployed. A couple of Lings caught, but not all that many. That Zealot is just hating life at this moment. And the Lings are trying to surround and get their way in there. It's not going to happen. So a solid defense by JYP up to this point, but Pet's still in the lead. Very much so. Void Rays are being built, which is interesting. JYP playing very defensively now. His early Gambit, in fact, both of them completely shut down here. Looking to try to take up to Colossus, but Roach Hydra will be the choice here. Currently, it's actually Hydra Ling. The Roach Warren was built, but the speed upgrade for Roaches is also being built, so I don't really expect too much to happen here. JYP will now push across the map once again. Not much to really find. Like, oh, a bunch of Lings. Okay, well, I can very slowly kill them with Void Rays. Well, that's not going to do much. And Pet knows it, so he's just going to dart out without a problem. Hydra's continuing to come up. I like the well, I kind of like the Hydras, but Ling Hydra versus Colossus will not work. But it is possible that he'll get enough units to be able to strike before Extended Thermal Lance is done and before the Colossus count gets very high. And that's exactly what Pet's looking to do here. Makes his way across the first bridge. He's going to have to be careful. These are pretty slow Hydras. Doesn't want to lose any Hydras on the bridge. That would be pretty bad. He wants to try and catch out the Void Rays, but there's no muscular augments done. These are only moving at 2.25, so these Void Rays will actually get away. Bridges have now retracted, and Pet is looking for some aggression. He wants to take a fourth behind it as well. JYP's coming to meet him, but with a very small army. Very small. It is entirely possible that with only one Colossus, this army could do the job. There are a lot of Zerglings. 35 and 17 Hydras following up here. Here come the force fields. He's going right for it. The Colossus was kind of caught at the front there, but the Zealots are defending it and trying to focus fire it down. He can't quite get to it. And that was a terrible engagement there for Pet. Protoss player loses basically nothing. And Pet takes a heavy loss in terms of his Zergling count. 31 Zerglings went down there. And JYP defended it very well. But it did at least give a fourth base there. I want to see a transition, honestly, out of the Zerg player, though. He's building Corruptors now, so I suppose that's not bad. 6 Queens out here for Pet as well, so creep spread needs to be better than it is. I mean, he doesn't have muscular augments yet. He is about to have the gas for it. He needs to start working on that pretty quick, I think, because these Hydras are really slow right now, and it's going to be a bit of a problem. JYP's not yet in a position to attack, but he's getting there. He has 3 bases fully established. He is on 62 probes. He's got a lot of chrono boost saved up for an attack. So I don't think Pet really has the time at this point. But he does have a large army. No muscular augments will be in this fight, but defensively that doesn't make too much of a difference. Does JYP have the army to break that? I don't think so. I don't think that army's big enough at all. He thinks it is. I disagree heartily. Especially with force fields like that. He's going to need to do a little better. Pushing up the ramp. Don't like this. Don't like this at all. Corruptors are on the field as well. The Colossus count is only 2. There's a third one on the way across the map, though. And I think the JYP realizes, you know what? This is a bad idea. I do not want to attack this. I don't want to fight. Time to leave. But unfortunately, that lets the Zerg player do whatever he wants. He's going Infestation Pit. Could go all the way through to +3, maybe add some Vipers into the mix, and then JYP will be in a lot of trouble. But Pet's maxed. He's going for it. As well he should. It's going to be a very slow advance across the map, certainly, but he should go for it regardless. Alright. Okay, Pet. Let's see what you can do. He's going all the way up to Hive. He wants to fight. He should fight. He absolutely should fight. No doubt about that. He has the units for it, if he can get the right angle. He's still dealing with a fairly large amount of force fields. 5 sentries, Colossus. He still needs to be careful. He does have the overwhelming force here, and he's sitting on a big bank for a remax too. But he still has to be a little bit careful. Corruption going down here as well. There's the photon overcharge. Starting to work on the Nexus here. Ling's making the way in and getting instantly obliterated. The Concave is up here. I am not massively convinced by Pet's engagement, but he will get the Nexus out of it, certainly. And JYP looks like he just might not have the numbers, even if this engage is not incredible from Pet. But the force fields are looking good. And a lot of Pet's army died here, and JYP didn't lose too much on the standing army front, although he did lose the Nexus. So maybe that's just good enough for Pet. The problem is on the retreat, he's going to lose a lot more. These units are just a little bit too slow. Oh, man. Pet taking yet more damage as he retreats. More blinks coming forward here from JYP, and suddenly JYP gets the momentum. And this lack of speed, he must have forgotten it. I mean, there's no way. He's been sitting on a bank for so long. There's no way he wouldn't build muscular augments. He forgot it, and he lost a lot of Hydralisks there. And Pet's army got kind of devastated. So I love the engagement that JYP actually took. Yes, he sacked his third base, okay. But he now has a really good army, and Pet doesn't. Pet's working on going up to Broodlords, which would be great if he can get there. But with 4 Colossus and that many Blink Stalkers, it's going to be a bit difficult. The Corruptor's trying to make their way in, but the Stalker count is just too damn high. 30 of them, in fact. With +2/+1 upgrades as well. Which is just enough to keep up with the things that Pet have got. That's a terrible sentence. Wow. God, like I'm from Yorkshire. The things that Pet have got! Naughty. Alright, let's see what he can do. Doing yet more damage to the hatchery. Hasn't killed it as of yet. He's just kind of darting in, trying to do damage here. Trying to destabilize the economy of Pet. Trying to reduce that lava generation. Pet has sunk through a lot of his bank here. He went for a lot of tech. He still doesn't have muscular augments. But honestly, like, Hydras in this position, not really what you want, are they? With too many Colossus on the field. Pet is looking for an angle. He's not going to get one. I think he's just going to have to sack this 4th base. I'm really surprised he's going in here. He's going for the Blink Stalkers. He'll certainly do some damage. 1 Colossus falls. 2nd Colossus comes in. Reinforcements coming in from the back. Will he really have enough to break this? Surely that's not enough. No way. No way. You can't do that. And that's what JYP's saying to him right now as well. You're really fighting this? But Pet believes he has the brute force. And the Colossus do fall. But the Blink Stalkers are now getting aggressive. And they believe that they have the upper hand. And they're right. I'm really surprised that Pet decided to take that engagement. And he's going to lose that 3rd for it too. Huh. Well, that was an interesting one. So far, of course, Pet has killed more workers than JYP on that 3rd base. But that's about to change. Because the entire mineral line just got gunned down. Suddenly, 23 workers killed by JYP. Suddenly, Pet in a really horrible position. But it is just pure Blink Stalker here. And there was tech. But there are no Corruptors on the field. There's not enough gas here for Pet to really go Broodlord, and he doesn't have the support on the ground anyway. Another Colossus is built, and suddenly JYP is looking in a pretty good position. He's re-established his 3rd base. He's starting to mine from there again. A couple of Broodlords are being built here by Pet. Not enough to really cause a huge threat yet with the Stalkers in play, but, well, it's still anything to play for, I think. They've both taken huge losses. The economy of Pet's actually in a pretty bad spot. He's on 1 functional mine... No, never mind. Almost on 1 functional mining base. This is about to be mined out. It will be done in the next couple of minutes. So, this base is the one he's relying on. He's got to be careful. He knows he has to find the pylons, prevent the Zealot run-bys. He takes out 1. There's a second one over here as well that he certainly needs to look for. This mining base is so important. And any base he can really take is going to be expanding towards it. And this is not where you want to put it. Man. JYP, he spots it. He sees that coming in, and he's going to warp in Stalkers to deal with it. And he's gone, right now, pure Stalker Colossus. Looks like he's going to try and pick this off. And, I mean, it's not a lot of DPS. There might be enough Lings to respond to this in time. But the thing is, this is a bait. JYP is set up to attack here, and Pet realizes, no, I don't want to attack here. And you don't. You don't want to fight here against Colossus. That's insane. You get blacked into a choke point, and that is you done. There are 2 more Broodlords coming up here. I don't know if the numbers are high enough for the Broodlords to make the difference. That's what really confuses me about this. Will it be enough for Pet? Pet is currently behind in supply. He's looking for a Zealot run-by. He's looking for a Ling run-by, but Zealots have already been warped in. Because, of course, JYP spotted that as the pylon went down. So there's enough Zealots here to at least hold on until the army arrives. Bridges are retracting very shortly. Oh, JYP turns around realizing, oh man, this is a bad idea. He almost lost his Stalker army on the bridge. That would have been absolutely disastrous if that had retracted. But it looks like the Zealots were just enough to deal with it, and Pet is actually retreating again. And Pet is bleeding. He doesn't have the economy left to support this kind of attack. His initial engagements, I mean, he committed so much to killing the 3rd, and he lost so much in the process. That lack of muscular augments, such a key factor, losing all the Hydras on the way out. Engaging with Lings against Force Fields and Colossus, which is suicide. The 4th base isn't going up either. Zealot run-by into the 3rd is going to do yet more economic damage. JYP is on the verge of taking it here for EG, but he still has to deal with the Broodlords. Can he do it? Can he do it? Broodlords are very, very hard to fight in this position. Really hard, and he realizes that. He's bringing up a fleet beacon. He's going to get some Tempests, I would imagine, to deal with it. But JYP in a really good spot right now. Looking to max before his opponent. Only 39 drones remaining for the Zerg player. But still a big force of Broodlords. There is this opportunity for Pet to counter-attack with 8 Broodlords. That will be enough with all the ground army he has to deal severe damage to JYP. And this is kind of an all-or-nothing thing here for Pet. He must kill JYP now before the Tempests come out. Because when that happens, that will be it. There is no way that Pet will be able to hold on in this game. Not on only one functional mining base at this point. This is now mined out. This is his only mining base. He's reestablishing this one. But here it is. It's got to happen now here for Pet. And will it? There are 8 Broodlords, sorry. And there's only a couple of Void Rays. Nothing really to defend. And right now, Pet has got to hit that third and hit it hard. He must destroy it. JYP's already taken a 4th down to the bottom. But that would put JYP on one functional mining base only, and that could be a lot of probes that die in the crossfire as well. Here comes the engagement, though. JYP with the flank comes in from the back, looks to try and get some of those queens, but the Broodlord's putting down a wall of fire to hold them back. JYP's being pushed away, and that third base is toast, and Pet will have to reconsolidate his army. JYP's going for it. He is going for it. He's going to go trade bases. He's going to say, all right, okay. What are Broodlords? Slow. Very slow. Let's go take the 4th out again. You can't have much left, and he doesn't. This is the only mining base for Pet. And Pet is going to lose it, which leaves us in a base trade situation. All right. So Pet is going to push forward, and he's like, okay, right. I need to get as many drones out as possible. I need to start building extractors around the map, and I need to get us into a base trade, because this is the only way I'm going to win. And he also needs to make sure that he picks those Tempests off. But how he's going to do that, I don't know. The Blink Stalker's coming in. There's no Broodlord support. There's no Broodlord support. The recall here from JYP right on top of the army of Pet. He's going to crush it. Absolutely crush it. The Broodlord's finally coming in and doing the damage. But there are Tempests out on the map now. Tempest 4-shot Broodlords. 3-shot in this case, actually, I think. That's a lot of damage. I think Pet is going to lose this at this point. The Blink Stalker's coming in. The Broodlords are all that are left. And they are going to die. No problem whatsoever. JYP looking to take it here for EG. Another victory in the Clan Wars. GG. And JYP is victorious once again here for Evil Geniuses as they pick it up 4 games to 2 against Startale. And once again, something of a surprise, I think, for some people. An excellent performance from EG. Really, really great performance. Gotta say. Absolutely love it. He did the job. He really did. Can't argue with his play there. He was pretty much behind, but I think, honestly, he was given the advantage by Pet. Pet elected to go for an attack, went in with slow Hydralisk against Colossus with Lings, couldn't pull back in time, lost a huge army, and then sacrificed his 4th base, ate a big Zealot run by on the 3rd, and at that point, well, that was it. That was it for Pet. It was just kind of a long, slow demise, and he really needed to do a base trade with his Broodlords in position, but he got caught out by the recall on the 4th base. So the attack comes in, JYP hits the 4th, recalls back, flanks around, hits the Roach Hydra Force at the front with his Colossus and Stalkers, and then the Tempests pop out and deal with the Broodlords. And there you go. Impressive display there by JYP, who picks up yet another one for EG. Proving to be a very reliable player in team leagues, I've got to say. Well done to him. Really cool. So EG is now 2 series to 1 and a really good map record, actually. They have won a lot of games. A lot of games. They have picked up 11 maps so far in the Clan Wars, which I believe would be more. Yes, it is absolutely more than any other team so far. They are not to be messed with, and they're taking this seriously, and that is really, really cool. And I'm very impressed by the performance of the foreigners on that team as well. Really good plays, and honestly, you know, Suppy losing to that build, well, Jaedong lost to the same one, so, you know, you can blame them both for that one. It can happen. If you decide to go gasless and your opponent just goes for that big, greedy speedling all-in where he gets the gas really early and just goes for it, it's very hard to defend. And that, as they say, is that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the Clan Wars. I'm really sorry about the latency issues that you saw today. There was nothing we could do about it. We assume it's something to do with Reaper of Souls, but we don't really know. Oh, man. Never mind. Hopefully you enjoyed the Clan War nonetheless, and there will be one more this month, but I will not be casting it. I'm actually going to be heading to Georgia, and I've been called away a day earlier than I thought I would be, meaning I cannot cast on the 27th. So I've got Nathaniel standing in for me. He will be casting once again on this stream. And he will be bringing you Team Liquid versus Incredible Miracle, which should be an absolutely fantastic match, I've got to say. I do have the lineups for that. I can certainly share those with you. Some really good lineups, actually. Really, really good one. So, we're going to be having two starters. Oh, nice. It is going to be a TVP. It's going to be I Am Trap versus Liquid Bunny on Keru, followed by Lucky and Ruin taking on Bunny and Snoot on the 2v2 map. And then we have Tasia coming out for the first time. He is here, ladies and gentlemen. He is not invisible. He is really here, and he is really playing. Tasia will take on Hyunghwa on Neo Jungle Valley. And then after that, New Polaris Rhapsody, Squirtle versus Mana, PvP. Fallen Dreams will be Ruin versus Snoot, and then we'll have Biol on Wrecking Ball for the 3rd time. He loves that map. Versus Liquid Red. Pretty cool lineup, gotta say. Pretty cool lineup for Team Liquid. Ladies and gentlemen, my name has been TotalBiscuit. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you for bearing with us through the various problems that we had. I'll see you next time.